When it comes to your health and well-being, so many people spend a ton of time talking about diet, sleep, and exercise. And yes, these things are obviously important, but what not enough people are talking about is your posture, the position in which you hold your body throughout your day. It influences your health more than you may think. See, this body is built on this whole axis, this central axis called your spinal column, which is a series of stacked bones with little discs in between them. And out of those disc spaces come all of your different nerves. These are the nerves that help you move your body, move your muscles and your bones. These are the nerves that innervate those key organs in your abdomen that lead to all your metabolic functions. These are the same nerves that help your heart beat and your diaphragm breathe. And when we're in bad posture, we're not only experiencing the muscle tightness, but our nerves and our organs are not working properly. There's compression involved. And so posture is key for good health. We are meant to have proper posture while we're standing, where the lungs can expand properly, those nerves can work properly, the blood flow is working properly. And there are 3 positions where you need to improve your posture in. One is standing, one is sitting, and one is sleeping. If we can master your posture in these 3 areas, your body will experience less pain. You will feel more energy. And when you have more energy and less pain, you're going to be more motivated to exercise. And the fact is, so many of us are sitting down all the time, which is causing different muscle imbalances we're going to cover in this video that leads to poor posture. So in the rest of this video, what we're going to do is we're going to tackle those 3 key areas. I'm going to show you what you should be doing with your body, some cues and positions to achieve better standing posture, what you can do with sitting to achieve better sitting posture, and how you can actually modify your sleep position to have better sleeping posture. And ultimately, this can help you feel better, feel healthier, and help your body work naturally as God designed it to. Let's head into this video here and let's go over these posture positions. All right, so let's get into today's video on how to have proper posture. We're going to cover standing, sitting, and sleeping positions. Standing is incredibly important because it's the foundation of our posture. And as the human species, it's one of the things that actually makes us uniquely different from other animals. We stand, we're bipedal, we're on 2 feet, we have hands that can move in the ambient environment. So we need to build our posture properly. And the first thing I want to introduce you to is a concept called the plumb line, where basically if we were to draw a line through the middle of the body, and you can see the graphic here on this video, this is what the plumb line is. It's where the weight is distributed evenly through the center slice of the body. And this is ultimately what the spine kind of moves around. It moves around this plumb line. There's some natural curvature in the spine. And when we're building our posture, we need to, like building any foundation of a house, we need to start with the feet. So I want you to feel your feet, even if you're sitting down right now. I want you to feel your feet and how weight can be evenly distributed between the 2 feet. I want you to notice when you're standing, do you notice that one foot has more weight than another? Oftentimes what people do is we get into the habit of leaning more on one hip, which then is going to kink the spine here. So I want you to add some more awareness to having your weight evenly distributed between your 2 feet. Next thing I want you to notice about your body, are you scrunching your toes? Your toes should be nice, fanned out, and relaxed. That weight evenly distributed throughout that foot. The problem is a lot of us wear sandals, we wear different kinds of things where we're used to scrunching those toes in together. And we scrunch our toes in together, it actually causes a cascade effect up the body that's going to cause the posture to not be as healthy. We want the even distribution of the toes, weight is evenly distributed. Now we're going to move up the body to the knees. I want you to notice, when you stand, are your knees locked out or are they super bent? It should be somewhere in the middle. Your knees should not be totally locked out. That's actually going to cause constriction of some of the blood vessels in the back of the knee, and that's not what we want. We want a slight bend in the knee where you feel like the weight is kind of centered around this pelvic girdle. You'll notice it when you find it. When you lock your knees, you feel like the weight is on your knees and your butt kind of shifts back. I lock my knees, my weight shifts back. When I keep this balanced kind of knees, the weight kind of stays here in this pelvic girdle, which is like the cornerstone of your house. Feet have weight evenly distributed, knees have a slight bend, nothing excessive, but so much that you can feel your glutes slightly be activated. Now from here, I want you to feel like there's almost like a line that we're pulling from the top of your head up into a straight line. I want you to stand up just a little straighter. See if you can add an inch or so to your posture just by extending your spine up slightly. This lengthening aspect is something that we want in the spine. We're meant to be nice and long and tall and extended out. What happens when we're so used to sitting all the time and being under stress, the spine starts to compress and we come in just like this. I want you to feel like you have a little bit of a drawn up posture here, and that's going to help your head come a little higher, your chin come a little bit higher. Next, when it comes to the low back, I want you to notice what is the position of your pelvis. The lower back by design has a slight arch in it. You can see in the picture here, there's a little bit of an S curve. It's your lumbar curve. So you have the glutes, this S curve that comes through here. Now, there's two kind of things that typically happen at the pelvis. Some people are overarchers. Oftentimes women who wear a lot of high heels, you get this whole arching position just like this. This causes excessive strain on the low back. And there's people who have very tight hamstrings who have this other position where the glutes are kind of tucked through and you have a very flat back. You want neither of these. You want a natural spinal position. Now, to achieve this, you may have to do some stretching. And we have a separate video called Stretches for People Who Sit All Day that I recommend you do that routine. It's going to help you loosen these muscles. But what I want you to notice right now is what it feels like when you're neither with this butt out lordotic position, nor are you have this posterior pelvic tilt like here. You're just somewhere in the middle. You have that nice position in the low back. Now, one thing that almost everyone needs to do with their posture is to cue themselves to take those rolled forward shoulders that so many of us have because we're sitting in our cars on our computer screens and we bring them back. So take a deep breath and open that chest just like this. And now with that chest open, relax your arms. This is going to open up that chest a little bit more. The shoulder blades are not pinched together like this, but they're not rolled forward like they normally are. They have a nice position just like this, and you can even dangle your arms until they get nice and loose. So you want to feel like you're long through the shoulder, and the arms are now sitting with your thumbs facing forward. So see where my thumbs are kind of facing forward. If you're used to working on a computer and you have this rolled forward tightness in the chest, you're going to find that when you stand, your thumbs face each other. This means that that humeral head up in the shoulder is rolling inside like this, whereas we want to roll it out like this and allow it to glide right in the middle. This is where your thumb should be facing. Nice and forward, just like this. This means your chest is open here. So this is probably one of the biggest areas people have poor posture as we break down up here because we're so tight. So working on stretching out your chest, strengthening those muscles in the upper back is going to help you maintain this nice position here. And again, you can intuitively know how much this is going to impact your breathing as you're able to breathe deeper with that more open rib cage. So this is right here, and then with the neck, really important to check in. The main position that many people go wrong with neck posture is this. The head juts forward. Why? Because we're so used to texting on our phones like this, looking at our computer screens like this. This puts a lot of strain on the neck, leads people who have a lot of chronic headaches is from a lot of this excessive strain here, tightness in the front, weakness in the back. So what we need to do is take that neck, drop it back a little bit, just like this. So the spine ends up staying in a line. It's going to feel weird because if you're used to living your life like here, moving back even a few inches is going to feel weird. But in time, you're going to notice that this straight line posture right here, check in with your feet, soft through the knees, through those hips, you feel that weight evenly distributed. Open, drop, take a deep breath, bring the head back and extend up like a little bit of a string. This is the natural posture. And the more you can check in on this, also where is your weight distributed, the better you're going to feel throughout the day. This is why we're huge advocates here at the Fit Father and the Fit Mother projects of taking daily walking, because it gets you out of that seat, gives you a chance to move the body and check in with your posture. Daily movement is key to good health. So now that we've covered standing posture, the key thing for you is to check in which areas do you find you have most tightness. Is it in your neck? Is it in your shoulders? You can comment below, let us know, and we'll also have that video link below, stretches for people who sit all day, that's going to cover all the best stretches to open these areas up and establish this posture for you long term. But even just adding more awareness to your patterns is going to be absolutely huge. So now that we've covered standing posture, let's talk about sitting posture, which I believe is probably even more important because so many people spend a lot of time sitting, and oftentimes their sitting position is super bad. So we're going to set that up right now. We'll come right back and we'll talk about sitting posture. All right, so let's talk about seated posture. I'm here in a chair right now, and just like we did with the standing posture, we're going to work on building our seated posture from the ground up. Now the difference between standing and seating is now we are distributing our weight through two different points. One, feet are still on the ground, but two, also underneath my glutes, I have these sits bones that are sitting, those two spiky bones that you have right here underneath your glute carriage, they're sitting on the chair. So the weight should be distributed evenly between those two. So if you're someone who often puts a phone in your back pocket or a wallet or anything that creates an uneven surface underneath here, it causes big problems for your low back. Imagine like doing this and sitting on a wallet. You can see how the big posture problems that come from that. So we got to get stuff out of the back so we feel like we have nice contact from those two sits bones. Feel those bones in your butt and feel the weight on your feet. Now, this is key. When we look at the angle that's going to be good here for a good seat, we want to make sure it's not too high or not too low. If you have a seat that's too high, you're going to be something like this. you have too high of a position here, and you might find that your feet don't even touch the floor on really bad chairs. We've all kind of sat on those like super high bar stool kind of chairs before, and we know that when our feet are dangling, it doesn't feel good, because normally when we're sitting, we're supposed to distribute some weight through the feet. So you want to have a roughly parallel position here with your legs, and ideally you can get a chair that can adjust a little bit so you can feel like that weight's nice and distributed. And if it's too high like this, it's causing flexion here, which is going to cause pressure on the low back. So we don't want it to be too short, we don't want it to be too tall. We want this nice degree position right here where the weight's through the feet, the weight is through the hips. Now, next thing we want is we want to kind of check in on this upper chest area. Again, the big problem is a lot of us want to roll forward. We want to roll forward like this. We want to bend forward and bring that back off the back of the chair. What we need to do is do that same check-in. Deep breath, open, allow things to relax. So we feel like we're long through this chest area, and we're back and we're in a straight line. So now that we're nice and open here, this means that the spine is in a nice straight line up here. You can see me from the side here, it's a lot more aligned. So now that we're here, one of the big mistakes people make is not setting whatever we're looking at, because we're typically sitting looking at a computer, laptop, phone, or something like this, at the right eye level. Because what's going to happen is if that computer is not roughly at eye level, what am I going to do? I'm going to look down, and as I look down, everything starts to come forward. And this disintegrates the posture from the upper back. So this is why the concept of ergonomics is huge. If you have a desk at home or at work, make sure that once you establish the right chair height, that you essentially get whatever you're looking at, that computer screen, that laptop, elevated high up. So you're looking at it roughly at eye height. When I have my desk at home, it is roughly at this height for the monitor, so I'm looking straight ahead and I don't need to look down, because when I start to bend the neck, that puts actually more pressure on the low back, puts pressure on the abs, and the whole posture disintegrates. So now they have that chest open, eye is there, hands need to be in a good position. They cannot be too high like this on a desk, but they can't be too low either, because the wrists are not going to be supported. A lot of people who do computer work often find that they have problems like carpal tunnel, where there's compression of this median nerve that runs through here because their wrists are super flexed like this because the thing is too high, or it's too low and you're constantly in extension like this. It needs to be just right. Should feel relaxed through the shoulders. If you feel like you're holding a lot of tension here, watch how you're with your mouse. Are you always hiked up like this? If I'm like this all day, do you think it's going to cause problems in my spine? Absolutely. I can already feel from holding my mouse, my imaginary mouse here, that I'm having more pressure in this left glute. And imagine how healthy you're going to be if you're doing this all day and your body's in this weird contorted position. You're going to feel lots of pain. So if you are a person that feels one-sided pain in your neck and your traps, primarily, it's either a problem with your sitting or it's going to be a problem with your sleeping, as we're going to talk about in just a second. So the proper ergonomic position, good through the legs, high through the spine, long through the chest, get that monitor at the right direction and the right height, and now you're here and you're in a good position. So it's possible to do it with this chair. I just got an average kind of wooden chair, no frills about this. What's even better is if you can get a ergonomic chair. So something like this, that has a lot more bells and whistles than your average chair. So this guy right here is good because he's fully adjustable. Let's say that this is an example of like too high of a chair. You can see my feet are kind of off the ground and now I can't put the weight down. So you can drop it down to somewhere in right height, and I can sit up just like this. I have support and I can look straight ahead, and I have a little bit of lumbar support with the padding. So this is a good chair. We will link below a chair just like this in the description. If you are going to invest in something this year, I think a good ergonomic chair, especially if you work at home and do a lot of sitting, is something that can really help your posture and relieve a lot of problems. So this is the key to sitting, really that eye height and really distributing your weight through your feet, so being very mindful of that, and now you're going to feel a lot better when you're in this good position. Now let's talk about sleeping. This is going to be the third thing. It's absolutely essential because the position you sleep in is going to dictate the position your body's in for 6, 7, 8 hours each night, which is going to influence your posture and how good you feel. Let's set that up next. So the key to good sleeping posture is very similar to the key to good standing posture, and that's to keep your body in alignment, to keep your spine in alignment as much as possible. Now, we all sleep in different positions. Some people are back sleepers, some are side sleepers, some are belly sleepers, so we're going to address those. But the first classic position would be that main back sleeper. And it's probably I would say the best position to sleep in if possible, because it keeps your spine totally in alignment. It's basically like I'm standing, and if you just recline me, I would now be in good sleeping position. Now, one thing that is important is to understand, where is your neck when you're sleeping at night? So one thing that's very helpful for back sleepers is to get a pillow that has a little bit of this cradle pocket. So you can see how the pillow is actually a little thicker on the outside and has a little indentation in the middle. And the reason this is good, because that head can actually sit nicely in the pocket of that pillow. And if I turn a little bit either side, it keeps me and gives me a little bit of support. It's almost like one of those airplane pillows, if you will. And I think that's good because it keeps your neck in nice alignment. Now, what if you're not a back sleeper? What if you're a side sleeper? This is where it gets even important. So we're here in this nice spinal position. Now imagine we lay me down on my side. So the bed is right here, we're in side sleeping position. Well, a couple things are happening. The first off is we want to make sure we have this spine in this right position. So we need a pillow that covers this amount of distance. If your pillow is too small, what happens is your neck has to come down like this. And this slight tension here that's on this side of the neck and this compression here on this side is going to cause problems for you. It's often why a lot of people feel like they have neck pain because they don't have a pillow that's proper for covering this amount of space. We want to keep this spine in an exact alignment. At the same time, if we don't have the right pillow too, as we're here on the side, we start to hug ourselves just like this. And what this is doing is compressing the upper body, making it harder for us to breathe properly and actually causing more tension on this down shoulder. So oftentimes getting a hug pillow or a pillow here in the middle, something like this that can keep ourselves more open with this pillow here is good. We're essentially trying to create this position here. So whatever you need to do with your bed setup to make it so it's possible for you to be here is going to be good. Vice versa with your hips and your knees. If you don't have something necessarily in between your legs or you split your legs when you sleep, you're often going to be in this kind of position. As you can see, this is not the natural orientation of the spine. You're compressed throughout all these different areas, the hips, the neck, the shoulder. It's causing problems. So we want to open that up on the side sleepers. And if you are a side sleeper, getting a bed that's not too firm, it's kind of hard to sleep on a firm bed. A bed that'll contour a little more to your body can do a lot for your health. So that is what to do with side sleeping. And I'll be honest, with belly sleeping, there is really no good way to sleep properly on your belly. Because if I'm on my belly, and I can't have my head forward like this, I ultimately must turn my head to one or two sides. It's on this side or it's on this side. Either way, I'm creating a lot of tension in this neck, compression of these facets in the neck joint here, and I'm causing this rotation bit with the upper torso. Definitely not good. So I'd recommend you maybe retrain yourself a little bit to be a side sleeper, or perfectly, if you can, get to be a back sleeper, which is probably the best way to sleep because you're in spinal alignment. Other things to consider with sleeping is if you have a joint, let's say your elbow, in end range position, so let's say right here it's in full flexion and you have it underneath your hand, this is putting a lot of stress on this elbow joint and you're keeping it in this position for like 8 hours. Definitely not something that would be good. This is why a lot of people who have chronic pain conditions are putting their joints in weird positions throughout the night. So make sure all your joints, your knees shouldn't be full extended. They obviously shouldn't be fully flexed. You want to watch those knees and elbows to make sure they're not in any kind of crazy position like this while you're sleeping. It's going to cause pain, and it's like a repetitive chronic injury that can lead to arthritis. It can lead to muscular problems and tension, ultimately leads to pain, and it impacts negatively the quality of your life. So this is the guide here. I guess be more aware of your positions. And the only way this video is actually going to help you is if you actually do these exercises. Check in with yourself right now. You stand up. Feel your weight. Have someone take a video or a photo of you as you're walking and you're sitting. Look at your posture and slowly start to make the adjustments. It's not going to happen overnight. If you have constant patterns where you're used to being like this, it's going to take a little bit to open up, but you will get there. And again, the video I have for you, stretches for people who sit all day, is absolutely phenomenal. We go through everything you can do, this simple stretching routine that will open your body up, help you have better spinal alignment, better breathing, better energy, and ultimately less pain and a higher quality of life. So I hope you found this valuable, my friend. Scroll below. Watch that video on stretches for people who sit all day and take inventory of where your posture is. And if you've learned something from this video, comment below. Let us know. And also, if you have something you discovered about your body as you did your little postural assessment, or you know you have a particular pattern, let us know. We'll be happy to help you and point you in the right direction of some more information. Go forth. Put this to action in your life, and thank you for being my friend. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to our channels across the Fit Father Project and the Fit Mother Project. We literally have 500 plus videos like this, just straight, no BS information to help you live healthier, both yourself and your family. We're the Fit Father Project, Fit Mother Project. This is what we do. Thank you, my friend. I'll see you around our channels. I'll see you in future videos. Hit that thumbs up like button. It really helps our channels, and I'll talk to you very soon.